Hi, this is Brad Constantine, and this is a podcast recording of the Old Testament. Although this is not an official recording of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, every effort's been made to be as doctrinally accurate as possible. I'll be using for the text the Joseph Smith translation of the Old Testament, along with many commentaries from general authorities of the Church, BYU professors, Bible scholars, and others. This format will be very detailed, and so if you want a deep analysis of the Old Testament, you come to the right place. Thanks for your attendance. Hi, and welcome back to the Old Testament podcast. This is going to be for Ruth chapter 2. And Naomi had a kinsman of her husband's, a mighty man of wealth, and the family of Elimelech, and his name was Boaz. Hebrew, in him is strength, swiftness, quickness. And Ruth the Moabitess said unto Naomi, Let me now go to the field and glean ears of corn, or grain, after him in whose sight I shall find grace. And she said unto her, Go, my daughter. Harvesting was difficult work and demanded long hours. Young men moved through the fields, grasping handfuls of the grain and cutting through the stalks with sickles. These small bunches of grain were then bound into bundles called sheaves. As the men worked rapidly, a number of stalks fell to the ground. If the men were careful and took the time, these too could be gathered up. However, any stalks that dropped were allowed to remain where they fell. Poor people, following the reapers, were permitted to glean or gather the random stalks, possibly all that stood between them and starvation. In addition, the edges of the field, where the sickle was not as easily wielded, were left unharvested. The poor were welcome to that portion as well. The destitute of Bethlehem now included Ruth and Naomi, and Ruth offered to go into the fields and glean. Verse 3, And she went and came and gleaned in the field after the reapers, and her hap, or chance or good fortune, was to light on a part of the field belonging unto Boaz, who was of the kindred of Elimelech. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem, and said unto the reapers, The Lord be with you. And they answered him, The Lord bless thee. Then said Boaz unto his servant that was set over the reapers, Whose damsel is this? And the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, It is the Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the country of Moab. And she said, I pray you, let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. So she came, and hath continued even from the morning until now, that she tarried a little in the house. Then said Boaz unto Ruth, Hearest thou not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field, neither go from hence, but abide here fast, or close by my maidens. Let thine eyes be on the field that they do reap, and go thou after them. Have I not charged the young men that they shall not touch thee? And when thou art athirst, go unto the vessels, and drink of that which the young men have drawn. So Boaz is treating Ruth very generously here, and he asks her to just glean in his field, not anybody else's. Then she fell on her face and bowed herself to the ground, and said unto him, Why have I found grace in thine eyes, that thou shouldst take knowledge or notice of me, seeing I am a stranger? And Boaz answered and said unto her, It hath fully been showed me all that thou hast done unto thy mother-in-law since the death of thine husband, and how thou hast left thy father and thy mother, and the land of thy nativity, and art come unto a people which thou knewest not heretofore. And the Lord recompense thy work, and a full reward be given thee of the Lord God of Israel, under whose wings thou art come to trust. Then she said, Let me find favor in thy sight, my Lord, for that thou hast comforted me, and for that thou hast spoken friendly unto thine handmaid, though I be not like unto one of thine handmaidens. And Boaz said unto her, At mealtime come thou hither, and eat of the bread, and dip thy morsel in the vinegar. And she sat beside the reapers, and he reached her parched corn, or grain, and she did eat, and was sufficed, and left some food. So it sounds like Boaz is asking her to dinner, doesn't it? Okay, verse 15. And when she was risen up to glean, Boaz commanded his young men, saying, Let her glean even among the sheaves, and reproach her not. And let fall also some of the handfuls of purpose for her, and leave them, that she may glean them, and rebuke her not. So they're actually going to tip over some of their sheaves so that there's more for her to glean. So she gleaned in the field until even, and beat out that she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah, or about 29 to 50 pounds of barley. And she took it up, and went into the city, and her mother-in-law saw that what she had gleaned, and she brought forth and gave to her, that she had reserved after she was sufficed. And her mother-in-law said unto her, Where hast thou gleaned today, and where wroughtest thou? Blessed be he that did take knowledge of thee. And she showed or told her mother-in-law what with whom she had wrought or worked, and said, The man's name with whom I wrought today is Boaz. And Naomi said unto her daughter-in-law, Blessed be he of the Lord, who hath not left or ceased off his kindness to the living and to the dead. And Naomi said unto her, The man is near of kin unto us, one of our next kinsmen, or redeemers, one of those having the right to redeem. Naomi wanted to help her faithful daughter-in-law secure a husband and family. To do this, Naomi considered the Levirate marriage a practice that had prevailed for many years in Israel. In Deuteronomy is the scriptural reference for the Levirate marriage obligation in Israelite families. The word here rendered redeemer we translate literally from Hebrew, goel, and this is its proper translation. It is rendered merely kinsman in the King James English Version. The function of a goel was to make it possible for a widow who had lost home and property to return to her former status and security and to have seed to perpetuate her family. It is easy to see why the later prophets borrowed this word from the social laws of Israel and used it to describe the functions of him who would become the divine Redeemer. Think of what he does to restore us to proper status with God and to give us future security and eternal seed. And that was by Rasmussen out of the Institute Manual. And Ruth, the Moabitess, said, He said unto me also, Thou shalt keep fast, or close by my young men, until they have ended all my harvest. And Naomi said unto Ruth her daughter-in-law, It is good, my daughter, that thou go out with his maidens, that they meet or find thee not in any other field. So she kept fast by the maidens of Boaz to glean unto the end of barley harvest and of wheat harvest, and dwelt with her mother-in-law. So it wasn't corn that they're reaping here, it's barley and wheat. Anyway, that's the end of chapter 2, and we'll see you next time. Bye.